Okay, my name is Myles Pilling, and if you don't know who I am, I've been a special schools teacher for 28 years, an advisor for a local authority where I issued equipment to children for 10 years. It was my dream job, and then the UK had austerity and they cut the funding for my role, and so I was made redundant and I had a life choice. I was close to 60 and I was thinking, should I give up or should I carry on? In other words, like the song, should he come or should he go? And I decided to keep on going. So I now work in the education sector, helping children access their learning, but I also work as a freelance consultant for a company called Neurobox, and we provide access to work solutions. In other words, I'm a trainer for them in specialist software, and it's basically meeting people who've met life-changing circumstances where they need to have accessibility in the workplace. So I cover adults, and as I put it, I deal with 0 to 99 years of age in my role, so it's very all-encompassing. And my main skill is the ability to empathise with the need, but then match it to the technology. And that is so critical, as we have many solutions where people think, oh yeah, we'll just give everybody that particular tool. That'll solve all the problems. It doesn't work like that. So what I want to do today is just give you a whistle-stop tour. We do have an hour, so whoa! I don't have to sound as if I'm racing, I'm not. But that's who I am. I'm also a council member for the British Assistive Technology Association, and that is the group of suppliers who make the stuff that you use, also professionals like myself who are working as independent workers. So, let's move on. I'll start with the definition. Assistive technology is any device, software, or service that can assist learners in the completion and participation in their learning and development activities. Now, that's a direct quote from a book that we published. I don't know if you were in the key presentation this morning, but this book is designed for special needs coordinators in our country, and it's a how-to guide of how to make this work. So if we've got have we got any teachers in the room? Or any people working? Speech therapists? Yeah? Okay. Any teachers?
Yes, English teacher.
English teacher? Yeah?
ICT teacher.
Pardon?
ICT teacher.
ICT teacher? Yeah?
Biology teacher.
Biology teacher. Right, I'm going to cherry pick. The winner today is the lady in the pink, because she's going to pass that on to her Senko. And if we have any other questions, I've got a few copies. Believe me, if you had to download this from Nathan's site, it would cost you £50. I don't know why. I didn't ask for that. I wanted it to go free. So,
Thank you.
it gives you fabulous hints on how to make this work. Okay? I'll give out some more copies as we go along. Okay? So, that's a definition. Now, if I'm looking at the main tools that assistive technology can do to help students, these are the ones I can pick out. I haven't quoted a particular product because these are the activities. Products change over time, but these activities are the ones that mainly can work. So it's speech to text and text to speech, which you can work. Most people confuse them. Speech to text is when you input with your mouth. When text-to-speech happens, it's when that technology speaks to you. Also, note-taking. This is something that is needing to be learned in the 21st century. And I don't know if you teach that in your schools. It's not always taught in schools how to take your own notes, which is incredibly important. And that's something that these kind of technologies actually do. Then we have research. There are research tools, and of course there are new kids on the block, and we're going to have a look, I hope, at ChatGPT, but Bing Chat GPT. I'll explain why later on. Then we have screen sharing activities, and I've got one for you, which I do hope, as this is the equipment here, that we can actually make that happen. How many of you know a program called Padlet? Blank? Yes. Have you used it? A little. Yeah. It's what I call screen sharing, because what's happening is in a classroom, it's very linear. For instance, I can only speak to Lady in Green, and the rest of you are kind of waiting. But with technology, you can all contribute at the same time in the same way, which is really, really good. Because in a class, maybe only a few people get a chance to ask a question, but you've all got questions. And also, for those people who are shy and don't want to speak it in a group, can actually contribute through their device. And then lastly, there's collaborative working, which is where you're working, perhaps not even in the same geographical location, but somewhere else in the world, and you're contributing to a document or a work. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's begin with some of the key things. Now, what I'm going to do is talk and show. So I won't be able to demonstrate all of these things, because some of them apply to an operating system this machine doesn't know about. But we will talk about it. Most keyboards on any mobile device has the option for a microphone. So you can talk to your device, whether it's an Android or whether it's an iPad. And what is kind of brilliant about the iPad is that it used to be that the iPad would only work the microphone when it was connected to the internet. Now that is not the case. It can be used without access to the internet. And that is something I know in Lebanon that you would appreciate. And we'll be talking about that. Similarly, there is a way that you can use Windows 11 through something called voice access control to do the same on a PC. Because if you are using something called Dictate on Microsoft Office 365, have you heard about that? Do you know about that? Some will, some won't. But basically you need the internet to make that work.
Yeah.
It will not work without the internet. Windows 11, that's on brand new computers that you'll get now, it allows you to use voice access control, which is in the accessibility settings, and you can actually dictate, control the programs, do everything. And do you know why? Because Microsoft bought up Nuance, which is the company that makes Dragon speech recognition software, and it's because of that that you're able to actually have it working in a very similar way to Dragon. Kind of cut down version. So we've also got other things. I don't know, you would not probably have had Ukrainians coming to Lebanon, but we have in the UK, and we use an app called Say Hi, because we couldn't speak Ukrainian. Actually, most Ukrainians speak Russian, and we had to have a way to do it. There's a brilliant app called Say Hi that helps us to translate between languages. I think it also has Arabic in it, so I could say something and it will go. Now, the loop of time for communication is long when you use assistive technology. You have to wait, but its power is fantastic, so it will enable us to do that. What else can work with speech to text? Smart speakers. I don't know if you, I'm sure you must have Amazon Echo, the smart speaker devices. Do you have them in Lebanon? Sorry to sound, kind of clueless about exactly what you have. But these are revolutionary for blind people. I have a blind client who constantly connects with me through my phone, and she sends me a message with her voice because she can't use her hands. She's very limited. She's only got the voice, and she's able to send me text messages with her voice through the Amazon Echo Dot. And it's one of the most powerful things to liberate people to be able to communicate with others directly. And then there's, of course, Dragon speech recognition, of which we've now got, sorry, it's a touchscreen, I've just found that out. That it's actually now on Dragon 16, and trust me, it costs an arm a lot of money, over nearly 500, nearly 600 pounds. It's very expensive, and they haven't got a variety of versions. But anything from Dragon 15 will work very well, and they produced copies of that for, in our terms, £200. There's a big difference between 600 and 200. Now, I can only say it's millions for you guys, because we had a meal the other day, and yeah, it was 25 million Lebanese pounds, and yeah, it was a nice meal. It had to be, didn't it? But I really feel for you guys. It's not easy here. So those kind of tools that work. So I thought it was a touch screen, but obviously,
Swipe.
yeah, you have to swipe. Thank you. I'm swiping. I'm swiping on this screen.
No.
No, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing.
Swipe from the middle.
Can someone show them?
They said swipe from the middle.
It was working from the other.
Chad's broke it.
Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You moved it, but not on from my machine. I think something's happened here, folks.
Is it first? So hit the space bar. Did that take it?
Yeah, it did. It did. Is this your water, Chad?
It is.
Go for it. Nice of you to sit in on the next session.
Of course. This is interesting.
So, what I'm looking at here is things that you will have. You will have the Edge. Now, you might not know it as Edge. You will know it as Internet Explorer, but they changed the name of it to Edge. And the Edge is this brilliant text-to-speech facility called Read Aloud. And Read Aloud allows you, oh, crumbs, allows you to actually be able to, let's go back, be able to read anything that's on the screen. Now, I think there are different languages there that you could use, and Arabic is one of them. So you can have the English read to you in Arabic, and I think you can even change the settings to have an Arabic screen for any internet website. Now that's revolutionary, but it certainly is one of those things that, as you know, it's probably using Google Translate, and you know the translation isn't always great, okay? But it's better than, well, I suppose the aspect is it better than nothing? Because the purists amongst us would say, well, not having it 100% isn't the best thing, you know? Because it just creates more confusion. But anyway, I leave it to you to have the moral dilemma debate about that. Then there is also free extensions to the Chrome browser. Do we have any Chrome browser users in the house? Yeah? And the extensions there are quite plentiful. And Natural Reader is one of them, which will also do text-to-speech. And then lastly, there is Text Help Read and Write, which is a program in itself, which will allow you to have a suite of different tools that you can use to make your work accessible as text-to-speech. So that's just some of the options that are there. I've mentioned Read Aloud, but also there's Chromebox on Chromebooks. Now, it's a bit what I call Marmite. Marmite is a black substance we have in England. Looks like crushed cockroaches, and tastes similarly to some people. So you either like it or you hate it. But Chromebox is one of the options that you can use to have your computer read back to you on there. And then, last but by no means least, is something on iOS, on Apple, that you may not know about. It's under the Vision section, and it's called Spoken Content. Now, I don't know, if you're totally blind and you're trying to access an Apple device, you'll probably switch on VoiceOver, which is fine as long as you understand that you have to double press to get to things. As a sighted user, using VoiceOver makes me disabled because I forget to double press lots of things. It's a wonderful insight on the world of visual impairment to see when something that works for you and you think that that's fantastic may not be fantastic to somebody else. So an in-betweenie is spoken content, which you can switch on, and it provides a play button to text on the iOS machine. Sadly, I can't show you that, but if you want to come and see me afterwards, please do, and I'll demonstrate it for you. Okay? On an iPhone, on an iPad, any iPhone device.
So it doesn't have to double tap, you don't have to press another tab?
You do have to press the play button, so I wouldn't recommend it. I think your VoiceOver is probably the best option, unless you have some sight. I'm making a vast assumption.
I use Android, but it's the same concept.
Android is TalkBack.
Yes,
That's the same as VoiceOver. And there isn't something like that, but if you're dyslexic and you just want to have certain phrases read, VoiceOver is overkill. It tells you absolutely everything because it has to. But you can use the spoken content button and it will read back to you certain bits. Do come on in. We have somebody entering the room. Okay, so moving on. What I'd like to do at this point is drop out the presentation and go in and show you some things about what we've been talking about. If you're in a meeting and you want to take some notes, say in a Zoom meeting, or do most people here use Teams? Have we got Teams users in the house? Yeah, most of you. Well, it still is a little bit tricky, and you might want to make a note of this. I use a software called Fellow that works with Teams. I know it takes notes and it puts it with the meeting, and that's absolutely fine, but you might want something that's a bit more structured. But also, I find it useful to collect notes, particularly if I needed to be short and concise and just have them in a certain way. So what I'm going to do, I hope I'm going to find it on here, is I'm just going to minimize the presentation. This is like what I call First World War flying, because in Britain we had the First World War and then the Second World War, and I presume you were involved in the second part of that one. But the average life expectancy of a First World War pilot flying those biplanes with two wings was 15 minutes. And I'm flying something I have not ever used. Okay? I'm just warning you that it could go tragically wrong. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to minimize this. You can just bear with me and drag this across here so you can see what I'm up to. Now, I don't know if you know this exists, so this is why I'm telling you. This is why I said that this is things that you might not know about. So I'm going to show you something that gives you access and provides suggested words for those with neurodiversity problems, dyslexia and the like. And how you do it is you type typing in here. Hopefully that's coming up. And it comes up with typing settings. Okay? So you click on that. And up comes all of this. And it's this particular one here which says show type suggestions as I type on the software keyboard. Okay, so somebody has kindly switched that on this machine. Maybe I told them about it last time. So what happens then is if I go into any particular software, it will pick that up and it will suggest some words. Any app or software across the whole of a system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I've got sticky notes on here. We'll see if that works. Does anybody know about sticky notes at all?
Yeah.
You do, right?
Yep.
You've got it here. Right, good. Yeah, we've got it on here too. So Sticky Notes is a free app that you can pull across. So I'm going to load it up. back up your notes and sign in. That's what it's saying to my machine. Oh gosh, right. Fortunately, you're not seeing all of this, so it looks like I have to sign in to get to it. Or will it let me just go? No, it's going to have to do that. So bear with me while I just write in and put in my access. And this is an Arabic keyboard, so instantly I am disabled. So let's go back. That's it, I'm beginning to find the things now. Just give me 1 second on this. And we'll see where we go here. But the sticky notes carry with me through any kind of communication I want to give. The other softwares apply, but we can use this as well. So let's see if it lets me in. Signing in, and then you will see, okay? But I'm going to put it on the screen here to demonstrate what I'm talking about. There we are. And pull that across. So what you've got is a system over here, and I can change the colour of those notes. And there's a limited range, but that's good too, because if you're dyslexic, you might wish to use cyan. But if you're visually impaired, you might want to use a more deeper colour. And here I can start to write notes. So I'm just going to put something in. See if any words come up on the screen. Not able. Okay. Summit. Okay. 2023. We're not getting any of those word prediction things. That's interesting. Could be because I'm using a display and I haven't duplicated it. Could be that. I'll try it on here as well, because I'm having to use like 2 eyes. I've got a screen over here that looks different to this. But you can do a lot with these notes because they stay with you in your account, and it traverses different machines, so you can sign into different ones. I can then write, as I'm in a conference call, say a Zoom call. This works perfectly alongside Zoom. So if you do have those kind of situations, also it gives you the chance to bullet point things if you want to keep it short. Short is good. Keeps you in the way that you can direct things. Let's go in here. So, AUB Summit. Brilliant. Hot. Sunny. And I can list more things up there. I'm sorry, that's a little bit frivolous. Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the setting said that feature works on software keyboard, not in hardware keyboard. So you have to enable the Ultimate keyboard.
Thank you, kind sir. I do feel free to correct me because I'm not perfect, okay? So that's a really good idea. So let's try it on that. But there is an option where it appears in everything as well. So let's see if we can find that wonderful software keyboard. Nope. Let's come over here. So we'll go back.
Just search for show keyboard or something.
Yeah, show keyboard. Typing settings.
You have to go down. Down.
Show touch keyboard.
Hardware keyboard.
Here we go. We got a keyboard? Not at the moment. It doesn't want to come out to play. Okay, I think you want to help, Jeremy? You want to help, sir? Always have somebody as plan B.
Yes, it is down in the hardware keyboard. There is another one. The same.
There is a hardware keyboard, and that's the one I really want. Okay, shall we switch on the show text as I type here?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we press that one?
Yes.
That's what we should be doing. Okay. That's enough. We can do this. Okay. Thank you. Let's go back. And should see what I've been trying to say. So, sunny. What else can we say? Mediterranean. Oh. Sometimes you just can't win. So, I do apologise. Oh, there it is. It's coming up now. He wants to call it medical. Mediterranean. How far are we going to get before it gets there? Yeah, it is a difficult word, but it's there. There it is. And it comes up. So, as I said, please, thank you, God. The God of Windows, Microsoft has just opened up. Allow us to do that, or else I'm going crazy. Okay. So, let's move into text-to-speech now. That's where the browser comes into play. So, let's go on a little search. I'm going to use Microsoft Edge, and we're going to search for, would anybody like to suggest a topic we can search for that's meaningful to you? Anything at all? Kittens. Okay, fair enough. That's a big thing here in Beirut. I think there's more kittens than people, isn't there? I've seen a lot more. Kittens. Okay, let's come into this and we'll find some text that's about kittens. Obviously, YouTube is big on it, but let's go to kittens in Wikipedia, because that's probably what you would do if you were looking for kittens and you want to know a little bit of history about them. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to highlight part of that, otherwise you're going to get very bored. I haven't tested the sound on this system, so what you might see is the words highlighted, which, as we did in the film earlier this morning, highlighting the words really helps the students to actually pick up what's being said, and also it enables them to actually learn the spellings as well. I'm not saying it cures it, it doesn't, but it does help. And something that didn't come across that I would say for neurodiversity is having it read back several times and going back over presentations several times helps the information to get registered. We work in a system where it's one shot. You just get one lesson and it's never repeated. But technology gives you the power to record it and repeat it, which is brilliant. So that's the way it works. So I click the right mouse button and down the options it says read aloud selection. It's round about down near the bottom. Okay, and when I click that,
a kitten is a juvenile cat. After being born, kittens display primary altriciality and are fully dependent on their mothers for survival.
okay, so it just reads whatever I've selected. Some people only just need that. Yes? Pardon?
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, you can. So what you do is you highlight your text. I would suggest that it's going to be voice-ageddon if we all do this at once. And then right mouse click your button, right mouse click, and the option to read aloud the selection appears. And then you can click that.
A kitten is a juvenile cat. After being born, kittens display primary altriciality and are fully dependent on their mothers for survival.
This means I can highlight whatever I want and have it read back to me, which is very powerful for some pupils. And okay, famous lockouts, but we'll continue. Okay, so that's just one particular thing that can work. If you're a OneNote user, who uses Microsoft OneNote? Yeah, you can, a little. You can use an extension called OneNote Clipper, and it does, what it does is copy the selection and then copies it into OneNote, which then keeps everything that you've copied from the internet. Okay, so it works like that, which is good. That's okay, don't apologise. It's absolutely fine. Do what you need to do. A new kid on the block, which I doubt whether you would have heard of unless you were at my last session last year, is a software called Glean. Glean. Has anybody heard of Glean? No. So this is something brand new for you. Let me do a search. It's not installed on the machine because it's cloud-based. What does Glean do? Well, Glean is a copying recording tool for students. It's being used in the university zone and it's gaining a lot of traction. What it does is it copies any spoken language. A lesson like this can go into Glean and you can go back over that lesson and pick out bits.
Just
Sorry?
like this.
No, it's much different to that. Let me show you it and log in. Okay. So this machine has not seen my account at all. Now you do have to have an account and it will cost money. Sorry about that. But if I just log in here, oh, that's not it.
Yeah, it is the same thing. It changed the dashboard recently.
Okay. It's gone to hashboard. Okay. Right, so I'm going to log into my account. Don't worry, you won't see my password. You have to have an account in order to access the materials. And of course, the big problem is remembering the password. Okay. Wrong email or password. Okay. Another hint, if you have a lot of different kinds of passwords, it's really important that you keep a list. I have this under an app called 1Password because I have multiple passwords and sometimes it's really difficult to get into this. So I'm just going to try writing it again. That's perfectly okay. I'm going to try and sign in with Google. It's obviously not letting me in. Okay, I won't save that on your system. This is plan B. Always have a plan B when you're demonstrating.
So Myles,
Yeah?
there are two Glean. One is Glean.io and then there's one called Glean.co.
You have to go to glean.co, try
It's the CO. I wondered why it was throwing at me.
Maybe that's why.
Thank you so much, Denny. That's really helpful.
Well, thank you.
So I'll try Glean. What was the code again? CO?
CO. Yeah.
Not IO.
Okay. Yes.
That's better. That's the right one. I thought perhaps Glean had changed something just to make my life difficult. So we're going through here. Watch it, remembered that. Now I know the password is correct because it's written that way in my book. So we should get somewhere now. I'm sorry for the delay on that one. It does take some time because obviously I'm using your system. But it will come in. I'm not going to save it on there. But we have a program in Britain which is called Blue Peter. And the presentators on that are children's TV. And their key phrase is, this is one I've made earlier, okay? And so I've come in and I've looked at AUB Summit and I've put in some information there to demonstrate what it does. So this I did before this session and you'll get an idea of what this program will do. So what it's done is I did a little talk and different parts of it I can access. That's really good, the touch screen just worked then. So let's try playing. important information to it. This is a demo for you to see in real time. You're only given 3 options:
So I can add that
heading,
to the mix.
important and review.
But also, I can put another heading in there and we'll call this assistive technology.
And then last down here. So when you're doing a lecture or you're listening to a talk, it's very linear. This is not linear. You could go in at any point and just pick a point in that talk. And it works very similarly. I don't know if you've seen the Live Scribe Echo pens. They're a smart pen, and you write on this paper and you touch any part of the page and it'll play back that particular part of the talk. So again, if you're neurodivergent and you need to have something repeated, this is just a smarter way of doing it. And of course, you can include images in there. Now here I am in Beirut, 4 hours plane travel, and I can access the material that I may have created elsewhere in the world. You could access it from any browser with the right web address, which is clean.co. And yes, it does cost, but it is making huge differences to people. So, let's go back to our presentation, if it'll let me. And our keyboard's appeared. That's good. Right. So we looked at text-to-speech and speech-to-text. Now we're looking at note-taking, and we looked at Glean. Oh. There's also an app on iOS called Notability. And again, I can't switch to another device because of the way they're recording everything. So if you want to see that, come to me. Anybody here use little post-its as a way of recording little ideas of things? Yeah? Well, did you know there's an electronic version called Post-it Notes? It's absolutely brilliant. And what you can do is you can convert it into a mind map and then export it to Trello, to PDF, to PowerPoint. And if you're that kind of user, it's a free app and it's called Post-it Notes, and it will do that. Again, if you want to see that in action, come and see me and I can show you it on my iPad. So those are just 3 tools that you could use for note-taking. Notability is not free. No, it'll cost you I think, yeah, just have a look. It's probably it'll be dollars in your ways. I couldn't give you an exact price. Maybe $6.99, $9.99 pounds, English pounds. So to convert that into dollars, it's going to be something like $9, something like that. A tool that is free.
I use Google Keep everywhere. Yeah.
Pardon?
I use it everywhere, Google Keep. It's really
Google Keep. Yeah.
Because it syncs to all your devices.
You've got the plan. And again, it's color coded, which helps neurodiversity people so that they can actually organize their work. I have them into labels, which mean I can access any of
And
Google
recently
Keep
it was
things.
updated to have, you can now edit text and you can now change fonts and something like this.
And you can put map references in. So if you get lost a lot, it's really useful for that. You can put in a map reference and it stores that. And yeah, it's part of the Google family, which can work. There are also mind maps out there. A free one is Mind42, if you want to try it. Mind42. And when you sign up to that, it'll open up a simple mind map that you can use and share with others. There's a German one called MindMeister, and its main drawback, even though it's free, it comes to you in German. So brilliant if you speak German, not so good if you don't, like me. So I was blocked on that one. Inspiration is what I recommended for pupils, and that went out of being about, maybe 5 years ago, and then a chap called Risa Awulan, who ran Inspiration, rejigged it and reshaped it. And there's some really exciting things they're going to be doing with that in September. I know this because he's local to me, and I went to visit him, and he's developing some great cloud ideas for mind mapping that he's going to share with the world. And that's a good software because it enables children to use templates on science, biology, or the other kinds of things. I can't demonstrate it on here, I can demonstrate it on my laptop and all of that. So there we go. And I mentioned Fellow. Fellow is something recent that I've used, and it's an online system. And I have, when I'm in a meeting, I can go to talking points in a meeting, and then action points, and it's really good at storing that, and it works with your calendar. So, that meeting I had with Jeremy, what did we decide to do? Here's all the points. It doesn't do it for you. There's technology out there that will do meetings for you. I think there's one called Read, which will do it automatically. And of course, with all of these, you have to look at what the accuracy is, and just make sure it's telling you what it wants you to do. And then we have research. There's an extension to Google, which is again free, which is from Textelt called Read Write. It color codes anything on the web so that you can save those notes according to a color scheme. And then AI comes in, which is called Bing Chat GPT, which is free, and I noticed it's actually on the browser on here. And what I like about it, because there are lots of philosophical issues about AI, is my take on AI searching is that it's smarter searching. So you use smarter questions, and of course you check the information. And what Bing will do is it'll quote the sources where it found that information so that you can go back and check it. I think that's really good. And then the last one on here is called ProStudy, which is a paid product which organises your research. I think there are free ones out there that you can go for.
I would like to ask, in this software, it can cite for me the research according, for example, APA style 7 can, according to specific, in the research on my APA, we use the APA style 7th edition.
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry, it's me.
In the research, I did my research master's.
You did your research masters?
Yes,
Yeah.
I graduated. The hardest thing was to cite my research.
To cite your research.
APA style 7th edition.
Yeah.
Yes. I can enter the option according to APA style 7th edition.
Yes, you can choose which method of citing you want, whether it's Harvard, any of the others, it's listed there. Have a look at it on the internet and see if it meets. You can actually get a demo of it. It works. There is a cloud-based version, which means it doesn't install on the computer. And so I recommend you have a look at the online version. Yeah.
لا مايكروسوفت وورد بعد لما بعمل سيتيشن للارتكل بس السيتيشن تكون بالتاتش لكل البيسز يعني انا في حدا اشتغل
I guess that's something else you're talking about because I don't think that can like cite your own. It's like the index citation.
لا اذا بعمل كوبي بيست ما بعرف
Have to try.
Have a look at it, see if it meets your needs.
we need time.
There is another one out there that's been around for years, and I just can't recall what it was called. And it does that kind of thing as well.
Microsoft Edge browser has a citation.
Right, excellent. Right. Would you like to take over the talk, sir? You can do the next bit, but yeah, it would be. Do you want to show us where that is so that we can see it? I'll just come out of the presentation so that we can have a look at this, because that sounds interesting. I didn't know that. You use it. Okay, so, I'm sorry, what's your name, sir? Yusuf. Yusuf is now Yusuf John is now taking over the session just for the sake of the camera for a minute.
You go here, three dots.
Yeah? I don't know if it's been switched on here, so that's the point. That's the trouble with some softwares. They bury it under menus and then you have a juicer job to find it again. Okay? So I think he could well, he's now doing the clever thing, which is go into the settings and see if you can find it there. You said Microsoft.
This edge browser has it.
Mm-hmm. Does it switch on when you select it? Oh, kittens. Here we go. Tell you what, we believe you, but if you could send us a postcard telling us exactly where to find it, then we'll certainly have a look at it, because I can't see it on the list there. Okay? It's under collections, and you have to turn on citations. I think it's getting too clever for its own good here. It's when technology gets so many different tools that they all kind of fall over each other a bit. Thank you. We'll have a look at it. It's right there. Okay, well, I'll have to experiment with that. So under collections, you turn on citations and then we're there. So, yeah, let's have a look. So while we're here, let's go to Bing. And you have to install this, Bing ChatGPT. So click on that. And if they've integrated this with citations, that would be the right thing to do. So that you've got the link, the sources, and then pulling it all together. So, yeah, Bing Chat. Why are flamingos pink? That's a suggestion it makes. I found it a little slow. And it's given me all kinds of information about that. And even more down here. So loads of information. But what I particularly want to do is to get to a chat window that will allow me to do this. At the moment it's just given me those options. So I'll see if I can find something else. Yeah, let's cancel. I don't want to know about flamingos all the time. Okay? Unsnooze all me. Oh gosh. Right, okay. Related searches. Was this useful? Well, no, to be honest with you. And it won't give me anything else but that. How interesting. Righto. Usually I would pick any corner of a Microsoft product and you would find a search window that you could use. Either I'm being phenomenally thick, but where has it gone? Where has it gone? Okay, sorry about that. This is what I'm talking about, First World War playing. I've never seen this computer, so I have no idea how it all works for it. Let's move on to the last thing. How are we doing for time, folks? Pretty much on time, actually. And that's Padlet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load into Padlet.com. And this is, again, a free software, but allows people to contribute. So if we go log in, I'm going to use my Google account. Fascinated that it actually comes up in Arabic while I'm in Beirut on my machine. Sign in. Welcome to the world of verification. And I've now got Authenticator telling me that you're logging in for a very different position than usual. So I want to know it's you, mate. So I have to go to my mobile phone if you'll let me. Life is getting way more complicated. Have you noticed that? It certainly is. I'm going to try another way. It'll give me yes on my tablet, get a verification code from my phone. Okay, let's do that. It knows my phone and it's going to give me a code before I can come in. Because it's detecting it's somebody elsewhere, it's not me.
You have
So-
to add your phone number.
Yes, you have to put your phone number.
Yeah, you have to have your phone number, but it knows my phone, so it should send me a text message. Okay, it's not done that yet.
Yeah, because you have to add your phone number. That's
You have to type the number.
try
It knows my phone number.
No, but
But
here
not
they
on
said
this-
you have to
not on this
add it
PC.
once again.
Not on this machine.
Yes.
Not on this machine,
On this
okay.
machine, it doesn't go, so on that previous screen,
Yeah.
Yeah,
type in your phone number where that field was.
yeah.
Can you go back?
I can't go back from here, but if you want to come and help me
Yes,
out on
Yeah,
this.
right there. Type your
I've
phone
got
number.
it, yeah,
Just
and it's got to be UK. Okay. Oh, how many countries in the world are there? There we go. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. And now comes a text message.
I was gonna blur it out for you so that
Thank you.
you could see it with your phone number.
Oh yeah, please blow it out from me. Right, here
It's
comes
not
the
the
message.
password, it's a phone number.
Though actually, my phone number is the most visible thing on the planet. I really don't mind people knowing that, because basically, it's the way I can contact people. So, yeah, I don't mind that, but that's not a problem. Okay, happy Thursday. So if you want to join in here, if anybody's got a QR code, you can pull into here and you can put in some comments. I wanted to start a discussion on AUB, just here. What do you want to achieve in life? Dun, 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 dun. Have we got anybody who wants to venture that? What do you want to achieve in life? Danny, what do you want to achieve in life, mate?
The first thing that came to mind was world domination, but I
World
guess that's not what we're
domination.
looking for.
Okay. Are you serious?
Sure, why not?
World domination. Okay. Now, I could go around the room and make that happen, but I could also log into a device. Jeremy, do you want to jump in on this? Oops.
I just need to hit plus and then.
Because then Jeremy, or even my good friend over there, Chad, could do this. If you have to go because I've reached the end of the time, please feel free to do so. If you want to see any of these apps, I will stop in a minute or two. But I just want to show how you could put things in there. And that's happening all the time.
Just popped up there for you, Myles.
Thank you. And this means we can share this information. It's like a screen share for you to see. And yeah, some people have put stuff in there as well. So it's a way of collaborating. And Google Docs, you can collaborate. I've worked on documents with my colleagues in different parts of the country. They put in some comments. I can say, yeah, I agree with that, or no, or change it a bit. It's really useful. And we don't have to be in the same room together, which saves time on travel. And actually, the lady's in Belgium, so I couldn't get to her quickly. So this is really efficient time. Really emphasize the sharing capabilities of Microsoft 365 and of Google Docs to do this. I want to thank you for your cooperation. If you want to come and see Post-it notes, or you want to see something else that I've talked about, come and see me now, and I must release you to go and do whatever you need to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.